I just dropped Grayson off at school. And I'm back on my way out to Wonder Lake to pick up a sewing table to help finish building my studio. Oh my God, this is fun. It's overwhelming, but it's not fun, but so much work to do. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Today's coffee is brought to you by a Frappuccino that I got at the Goodwill. If you're new to Coffee with Anna, this is where I have a coffee and wake up and try to find out what the hell is going on today. That's one of those days. I haven't recorded in a few days, so that's what's happening. Why is there so much fabric in the house? It's, I said to Shane last night, I said, you know how when we met, I was a fabric hoarder, ex-fabric hoarder, I like to say, but that's not factually correct right now. I said, you know how when we met, I had 3 sewing machines and I had a lot of boxes, a lot of fabric. And I was under the impression that she who died with the most fabric wins. But then COVID happened and we made the masks. And so then my stock was really, really low. And then I had kind of built it back up. But then after my mother passed, that put me in the level of ooh, I'm playing with the big dogs again. Maybe. But I was at least to where I was before. Now I think we've created an entire new category where JoAnn's went out of business and Anna's hobby. Did I somehow consume a JoAnn Fabrics store? Because there's not a textile in one of those stores that I don't have now in multiple prints and new bolts of yardage. People have told me, especially the last few months, or they have expressed or identified you don't half-ass anything of Anna. With the garden, it's you have a lot. This is a lot. This is a lot. And it's I look at them and it's is it? I don't know nothing about, is this more than what gardeners do? I don't know. Right. But I know in the fabric world where before I'd be yeah, I kind of have a lot. Now, if the exuberant amount of fabric that I used to have, if I was it's a lot, what the fuck is it now? Now it's comedic. It's I couldn't have write a funnier joke. What the fuck am I going to do with all this fabric? I don't know what gardeners do. I do know that I had 26. We ended up with 26 tomato plants. We ended up with 10 pepper plants that didn't do much. 31 vining gourd pumpkin or mini ornamental gourd pumpkin gourds on the climbing dome. Over 500 seeds of sunflowers planted 3 different times. That's not including the quad beds that has all those little mini gourds. Excess, and I don't see that in the garden world. I don't know. My girlfriend who's been a gardener way longer than me, she's oh, I only have 2 raised beds, and it's is that not a lot? I don't know what that is. Is that a lot? Do I have a lot? Do you have a lot? What is a little? What is a lot? I don't know. I planted 9 types of cucumbers. That's not cucumber plants. That's just the types. I planted no less than 12 different varieties of melons, but only got 3. I had 3 different specialty zinnia seeds, but then I also had packs on packs on packs of giant this or assorted this, the amount. I didn't know what I was doing, so I just did it, right? I didn't have a comparison, right? That's the gardening world, and I can identify where I didn't know what was excessive versus what was not excessive, right? Where it's I just threw my hat in the ring and my default is a lot, right? Anything that happened outside, well, I was new. I can claim ignorance. I didn't know what was going to take, what wasn't going to take, and I didn't want to not have enough. So I ended up with a lot. But now, but it was all research, right? I was throwing my hat in a ring I had never been in before. My startlement in comparison is Anna, you used to be you managed 2 different bridal salons and was the purchasing manager for the Marshall Salon bridal, the Marshall Fields Bridal Salon downtown Chicago. Fabric. You are not new in this. You cannot claim ignorance as to what happened, but yet, who did that? For context, my sewing background, I was a squirrely kid as a child. In 4th grade, my mom was okay, this is a long summer. she was a sewer and knew how to make things and made clothes and stuff. And so she was like, okay, cut these into squares, make a quilt. And for 10 years, every summer I sewed on this same quilt that I went to college with, like a twin bed, and had a California king size quilts. Like, I was proud and I knew how to sew. And at that point, like pajama pants, all of it. By the time I went to college, I had 2 sewing machines and a serger. I did 4 years of clothing construction in high school, and then I went to ISU and I went for pattern making, design, and merchandising. I should have gone for costume design for movies or sets or productions. Like, that would have been, had I known. But the pattern making skill is something that I have under my belt and have been able to alter or make clothes my whole life. But that wasn't necessarily like my favorite thing to do, right? I make Irish quilts are my favorite thing, Christmas quilts, and I really got into quilting, which is non-stretchy cotton fabric. That's a whole world. That's a cool world. I learned how to long arm and taught some people how to quilt, and that part of the sewing realm. It's like there's all these different little fandoms of, like, if you're a sewer, well, are you do you sew from patterns? Are you an upcycler? Are you a quilter? Because that's a whole different animal. Like, if you sew stretchy fabric versus non-stretchy fabric, like, it's a well-versed multitude of things, right? I, as a hobbyist, I have, like, that was the first textile fabric arts was the first opening door to Anna's an artist, right? And then it's always been in my wheelhouse, right? Being able to sew and make things and create. It'll come out and I'll make 15 quilts and I'll put all my fabric away for a year, and then I'll bring it back out. In this reset of things and the shifting of rooms and knowing that we're staying at the house, not only am I converting the salon into a studio that I can record and do all forms of art, including hair one day, get back to it. I just renewed my license, which was great. But the room next door to it is now doesn't have children residing in it, where it needs to be a guest room. And, like, it might be stereotypical of when your kid goes to college, all of a sudden somebody gets a sewing room. And it's like, that really is, I'm not getting a sewing room. It's going to be a fabric storage room, but then also have a nice bigger bed than the twin bunk beds we were working with. And somebody who packed up her fabric 2 years ago-ish and hasn't been able to functionally work from it, to be able to, and my sewing machine was, like, tucked away and traveling and, like, to be able to have a permanent place that I can put that is, my tail is wagging. And as, like my big dick, I said to Shane, I was like my big dick energy, like, maybe cool, like, at least in my mind, and, like, put me at a status. Like, I was one of the Joneses in a very niche market, or in my own head, of, like, having 2 very good sewing machines plus the serger. Like, I've always been a person working from multiple machines. That's just the level that I played at. And then over the years, like, it became more expensive to fix them than it was to replace them, right? So I said to Shane, I'm like, the fact that, like, not only am I actually going to be able to, like, organize the fabric, but, like, in the blink of an eye, I went from being a 1 sewing machine person back to I think there's 5 of them in there now. Everything's coming up roses. Like, Anna's coming back, and she's getting crafty. One of my biggest complaints the last 3 years with our quarantine and all that kind of stuff was the question of how sustainable we were going to be in this house if I wasn't working. Like, that was not what was planned on, and I would not elect to be a stay-at-home mom, and did not, but I did it because that's what you do for your kids when you need to do things like that, right? I have a couple of friends in that momentum now where this is their first year. They're electively stay-at-home momming and homeschooling, and I was like, are you okay? And they're like, no, we're good. And it's like, oh, like, you got to choose this? And my brain, who didn't feel like that like the whole sicknesses and things was a choice, it was like, why would you choose that? And it's like, well, your child isn't continuously leaking from the face and throwing up everywhere sick. Like, there is, it takes a different experiences. Anyway, but so having to, like, I was home, and it was like, okay, if we have to pivot, I have the most stuff because I work from home. So I packed up so much stuff 3 years ago and then 2 years ago, and then a year ago, because as of 6 months ago, we still weren't sure if we were staying in this house. So now that it's like, okay, we get to not only unpack just what, like regular stuff, like, oh, if you think you're moving or like you're downsizing or whatever, you have a storage unit, and it's like, oh, we got to get rid of a storage unit, right? It's not a moving thing. It's like, we have to get rid of the storage unit. So you have to get through stuff that you chose that you liked, but you didn't want to throw away yet because it still eventually has a purpose. It was, for 3 years, it was like, okay, when we get landed, we get landed. Now it's like, how the fuck did this end up in storage? What the hell? Now being able to truly unpack and settle, it's like, I am so nervous that the shoe's going to drop, but holy crap, is it nice to be able to, like, I truly feel like after all this time and all these years and complaining on the internet of feeling like Groundhog's Day, that there are choices that we have to make, not because we have to, because somebody's sick, or, you know, it's like, all signs are pointing to we're truly getting out of like a survival burnout mode. And that is so weird and startling to my nervous system. Like, I'm just living in a constant panic attack because I'm not used to things going well. Isn't that kind of weird and sad? I understand what's happening when I can't control my anxiety, but my anxiety is there because nothing is showing that it's wrong. And with it not being wrong, then that means something's coming and it's going to be wrong. Like, that is the trained of like, did you just sneeze? That was very difficult and is still currently very difficult for us to try to get out of. But it's not happening. And it has its ups and downs where in a storage unit that has not only like all of my favorite things that I wanted to keep for the future, it now also has my mom's favorite things to keep that we wanted to keep for the future but weren't ready yet. And it's like, okay, it's almost been a year and you have to, it is Jamie Jam's Christmas season and the year anniversary of my mother's passing and her birthday are coming up. They're in the same week. And I made a lot of promises to a really wonderful woman. So for her birthday this year, I'm releasing my vlog, Coffee with Anna, and then plus I'm releasing Coffee with Anna, which people watch sometimes, in the non-permanent form that is Facebook and Instagram stories. But I am converting that. It'll stay the same, but I am. People have asked me for years of like, oh, it goes away. How can I rewatch it? And it's like, you can't. See, like my diary it's 24 hours. So in continuing to tell the stories that I loved to tell my mother, because that's how Coffee with Anna started. Coffee with Anna started during 2020 when Grayson was too medically sensitive to be around people. And it was a way for me to be able to keep up with my mother and kind of give her the tidbits because we were very integrated in each other's days. And so now, in this big mad dash of doing things, right? It's all coming together. The things that I've put into play for the last 3 years, I'm being able to put those to good use, where I have restarted my old Etsy that I did with custom AF designs it's under Coffee with Anna, but I'm putting I'm doing a collaboration and doing a fundraiser for Penny's Purpose. They showed up big, very big the last couple of years for us. When Grayson was sick, they brought us comfort items and made him feel special. And she keeps threatening to rent out all of Antioch Theater for him to watch all of the Harry Potter movies back to back. And it's like, I don't know if you want to do that with us. I'm Mystery Science Theater. You're 8 hours of Anna's commentary of Harry Potter and then seeing if she can remember all the words. Like, she's just so unbelievably sweet, right? So to pay it forward to the people who showed up big for us for my mom's birthday, and like I have like a month and a deadline, which feels nice because I have something to do, you know. But I'm releasing the vlog. And then I'm sharing my dopamine balls, right? The big work that I did this summer in the therapeutic experience of learning how to garden and touch dirt. That is, I want to do a puzzle of a picture of something that I grew from seed, the ultimate craft. I grew that. Talk about crafting, nature. Like, that is way harder than quilting. I explained it to my dad and I said, listen, like the ultimate crafter, like you don't even know the dopamine that I have set up for myself. I grew the sunflowers from seed. Then I like watered them, nurtured them, took care of them. Then I photographed them, right? And then I had a photographer come because I can identify what's above my pay grade. But I'm editing the pictures of the sunflowers and flowers to then be made into images that I can create a fabric for. I can take those images and create my own custom print, right? So I can print that fabric, and then that's cool. I want that. I want to make a quilt. But then I'm also taking the bigger images and making them really kind of cool because I want to do fun puzzles, right? But I can also take that image and put that on, and it's smaller, and I can make a quilt of pictures of all my most beautiful sunflowers, and then on the back of it can be a collaboration of all the flowers I like. That is like the ultimate craft. Like it's a craft of a craft of a craft, like of a craft of a craft. I grew it, I cut it, I grew it and nurtured it. I made it into an image, did art on the image. Then like it is the ultimate dopamine ball. Where like if I have a class picture every year of my plants, like, okay, everybody get in, whether you're alive or dead, right? But then also, what if I have instead of a yearbook, I have a yearly quilt. Like I always told Mom I'd make her a calendar of the flowers that you grew. But like I'm going to make myself a quilt every year instead of 12 quilts a year. Maybe just one quilt a year for myself, and then quilts for other people is the goal because I don't need more quilts. And so like, yes, I embrace my extraness, right? Like I don't get much extra than that, Dad. I don't know. But in order to do all of those things, like selfishly, I can just do that for me because that's what I want. But do good with what you're good at, right? I can take my art and my passions and my mental health therapy garden pictures, and I can put them on a mug, right? And I can take that mug and I can have it for coffee with Anna instead of having like, I don't know, a Pepsi or somebody else's logo, right? It's like, hey, this is mine, sentimental. Like that's my love language is trinkets and little how do you do's, right? Like I'm doing a little how do you do fundraiser, right? Of like, dopamine ball. I'm sharing my dopamine balls, but I don't need to start a business with that. Like I know that t-shirt quilts are my passion right this second. I want to get into teaching hair and doing that where I can put that out there and then somebody can order them, but it can go to do good. I can raise money for Penny's Purpose who showed up first. And my dad was like, I've already used those images and that dopamine for myself. But if somebody's like, oh my God, I want to do a puzzle like that, or that's a cool picture and I need a gift for a puzzle maker, or I have a coffee cup collector who loves sunflowers. It doesn't matter. It's if you want to do good, like I said to him, I said, Boomba socks, they're good, great socks, but people buy them especially because they know that they're paying it forward. Like I'm going to pay it forward with the crafty things that I do for myself, but I don't want to have to like, anybody want to buy a dresser? It's like, hey, there's a fundraiser. It's out there. Forward it, do whatever. I said, that's what Mom would do. I think Mom would be proud of that for her birthday gift this year. I'm going to do a fundraiser to pay it forward so that for comfort blankets for other people going through hard shit. Like that's what would Jamie do? Jamie Jam's Christmas is here and we're doing a fundraiser. I got a lot of work to do, and a lot of balls in the air, but it's not working, and it's bringing me a lot of joy. There's so much fabric to organize. I know I'm a lot. I know I move fast. I have 3 years of work that that's been pinned. Of the different things that I've created, going all the way back to the Beetlejuice dresser and the Mentally Hungover podcast and Custom AF Designs. Like that stuff has been sitting, but I've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. So everything's been dormant. Now that like Grayson's in school, it's like, okay, I'll fire up the systems that go, and it's so much. I feel bad for every person who's been like, what are you up to? And it's like, you want to hear three? I don't know how to answer that question. Everything. I have been at the starting line for a long time, and now I'm trying to do everything all at once. I never saw that movie, but I think I'm living it. My poor dad, I was trying to... my main point was to tell him that for my mother's birthday, I was going to do a fundraiser and do good, right? Like that's the main meat of the... Right? But to tell him about all the 3 years of things that I put together that I'm using it for, it's like... No wonder I come off as a crazy person. But that man and my mother did some cool things. I don't know if I know the whole story, but I'm under the impression at some point my parents were part of the original group that started Footlights at St. Peter's. And if you're local to Antioch and of a certain age, you have fond memories, right? But and people were always startled when I said, yeah, my parents had the gym. Like they did that. And like as a 44-year-old adult, I have to realize at some point my father had meetings, right, where him and his friends convinced the Catholic Church to let them use the school gym to decorate it as a casino and have like an Elvis impersonator come in and have gambling and alcohol, but all in the name of a good cause. Like that I think that was a big undertaking, but raised a lot of money. And the fundamental purpose was you did a lot of good. So it's like, I'm trying to do, it's like that. It's like that. Maybe trying something nice, something good. I mean, I don't know if that many people would line up for a coffee mug with a picture of my sunflower on it, but I have a few fond memory years of Footlights and the wonderful things that they were able to do, and to know that my parents were some of the founding people in that is like, that is, I am proud of people that can start something new and be able to do that. And it's taken a lot of work and a lot of hard, but that's how things get done, right? Okay. I'm just going to keep marinating, and I'm avoiding touching all the fabric. What am I doing? How do I do, like, literally, it's like, how do I do good with this fabric? What the fuck do I do with this fabric? Oh, ideal meal. Okay, I have to go inside and touch the fabric and get things organized because I have respite hours of cleaning coming in, and it's like, I don't want my shit to be in the way. This house needs to be cleaner, and I physically can't. I have so much decluttering to do before the actual cleaning of this house can happen. And then the organization of Grayson. Oh God, like, nothing was going to get me to organize this more than doubling the quantity, and now I cannot ignore it. If anybody has a free set of hands today and enjoys hearing me ooh and ah over fabrics, I could use an extra set of hands. I hope everybody has a good Tuesday. I hope everybody has their carrot at the end of the string. Mine is plugging in those machines and sewing my first pair of pants out of some of the most amazing fabric I've ever felt. So I don't know. That's the bet. When am I going to do that? I don't know, but hope maybe tomorrow night. I don't know. Okay. Everybody have a great day. Be good to yourselves. Be good to others. Pay it forward. Do nice things. Be a good human. That's it.